that somebody ought to look up to as somebody who wants to guide myself. We had a couple questions here. Ballot harvesting, the collection and processing of mail-in ballots after the election night got a lot of attention this year, likely swung California's 21st. What did we learn this year? That can be used in the next election, both presidential, primary, general elections. Yeah, I think it was is that we actually post-election we went out and found some 900 contested ballots. 900. We won by 862. Right? I'm assuming that probably 90+% of the ballots that we went out and got were for me. So that made all the difference in the world. Now the efforts during the campaign, on election, and post-election. And really, again, the other side, they were caught flat-footed. I don't know if they went out and collected their ballots either. And so it made all the difference in the world. And so the presidential, the primary, in the next general election, I think the general sense, though, is one, we have to expand voting rights. We're working on in the state where one, there's a number of things there. Looking at mail-in ballots. In Madera County, you may know that they had all mail-in ballots, and the turnout was probably 50% over it was in the 21st congressional. So it's something looking to very, very important there. Other question. CA21 is heavily Latino and Spanish speaking. TJ is neither Latino or Spanish speaking. And so, true. How much of a hurdle was that, and what did you do to overcome it? Some of you guys may know my friend Rashida Tlaib, who's one of the first, I think she was the first Muslim American member of Congress from Michigan. And just like Rashida, there weren't a bunch of Muslims that elected her, right, in the Detroit area. And so it's the same thing. It's the fact that I'm not Latino, or the fact that I'm Filipino and Chinese. That's an interesting aspect about my background, and it certainly colors who I am. But in the Central Valley, people care about the things that we all care about. They care about quality health care for all. And that's not a Latino thing or a Caucasian thing or African American. They care about clean air and clean water. They care about immigration and our neighbors and our friends and our family being treated fairly. And so it's those issues that we kind of hammered home again and again and again. And certainly in the 21st, they knew that there was somebody that didn't share those values, named Donald Trump. And they knew that there was a representative that voted with Donald Trump 99% of the time. And so that was a very simple message. And so, as I go forward as a representative of the 21st Congressional, I work for all the people, and certainly in the 21st, the majority are Latino. And we're very sensitive to the needs of every community that we have in the district.
I have a question here from Judy Bertelson. How can we work effectively for real affordable health care? Stop obsessing about Obamacare and instead develop single-payer health care for all, getting corporate insurance out of our health care. So, as you probably know, I'm a pediatric ICU physician, and my clinical job is taking care of sick children in the Central Valley. But I've been doing that for almost 20 years in Fresno, actually Madera, where Valley Children's Hospital is. And what I noticed early on was that the kids that were the sickest, that came to us with what we considered very preventable illnesses, tended to come from the same places. Their parents tended to have the same occupations, and those clusters made me wonder if we're just completely on the wrong track here on our trying to address the inadequate parts of our healthcare system. So that's why I am just finishing up actually a Master's in Public Health to address some of those issues, because they really are policy issues. And what the healthcare access absolutely is a part of that, but our problem starts so far upstream that at the bedside, I'm never going to be able to completely do my job unless I also look upstream. And I think that those of us in healthcare that are new to politics, I'm certainly new to politics, this is not something I thought would attract me at all, but the policy part of it, the politics is the way to get to the policy. And the policy part of healthcare really is about health. And when you talk about health, and specifically through the lens of public health, you're talking about housing, you're talking about generational poverty, you're talking about education, you're certainly talking about clean drinking water for every human. I mean, I think that for the healthcare system itself, California is probably going to lead the way. And my organization, California Physicians Alliance, is one of many that is working actively in Sacramento. And as you probably know, things are really looking like they're going to move forward for California. And what we're hoping is that will be a template for the federal level. So one benefit of TJ being in office is that I've been able to speak to many people in his class mostly, but some other members of Congress, and let me tell you, they're aligned. His class is nothing but impressive, mission-driven, and I haven't heard one of them say that deny the fact that everybody needs health care. And I have to tell you, even the Republican new members of Congress want to solve this. It's a very different class. So I think that California will be sort of the pilot project. They will set the template. We will set the template for things like starting with the public option or Medicare buy-in. Because it is true. The insurance industry is such a big part of our economy. It's going to take some time to really switch us over to a very affordable healthcare system where everybody has care and nobody's left out.
Thank you. So we don't have time for all the wonderful questions we have, but I have a couple more questions up here for some other folks on the panel. And one sort of a combo thing. People are wondering for the young gentleman who got elected to city council, is that your only job? Do you have other jobs? And also, did you get any pushback if you had Bay Area folks helping you coming in on your campaigns? Did you get any pushback on that? So that one's for Brian and Daniel.
I'll go first. So, city council, for those who know, does not pay well. Yeah, especially Delano. For people who know, you are paid population by index, and our index hasn't been updated since 1965. Does anyone want to guess what the salary is?
$5,000 a meeting.
She's close. 6,000.
A year?
A year. So I do work with the ACLU of Northern California. I'm in Kings County as a field fellow. My job is to try to educate communities, especially members who may not be exposed to this nonprofit organization that has progressive stance on many issues. So I give presentations to high school students, but also try to table at community colleges just to get the word out on what the ACLU is, to get more people involved for things like 2020 and beyond.
Yeah, so I'm it's a little bit worse than Porterville. So we actually are paid $20 per meeting, and we only have 2 meetings per month. So I make $40 being a council member in Porterville, right? So talk about how you keep power in only a certain amount of folks, right? That can be in power, and that's what we're talking about in Central Valley. For so many years, we've had disproportionate representation, and in Porterville, I could speak that if you're not, unless you're wealthy, you have your own business or retired, then you could do council. Not someone young, not an immigrant worker. They cannot afford to do that, right? So there's a lot of change that we need to do there, and hopefully I can be a vocal voice on that. But yeah, I work for a nonprofit organization named like I mentioned before, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, and it's named SHIRLA. So we do a lot of work at organizing and on immigration at the local, state, and federal level, along with a lot of our partners in state California that do a lot of work as well. And so that's my full-time job. And so I was working in the CA21 district with our C4 SHIRLA Action Fund, at the same time running a campaign for city council. So it was very, it was a lot, but ultimately the amazing thing is that I have amazing people that volunteered for my campaign that made it easier for me to be canvassing in the CA21st district with our canvassers under the SHIRLA Action Fund. So it was very difficult, but definitely, it's the collective efforts of all the campaigns and everyone that puts in their extra, every ounce of energy to bring change in our community. So yeah, that's to answer your question. And I didn't have a lot of San Francisco folks, Bay Area folks go to CD23 because most of them were working in the CD21, so I didn't get a lot of pushback on that.
I think we'll just have time for one more question in the interest of ending on time. All of the panelists had lovely, interesting questions, and but we do want to make sure we let people go, and we said we would let them go. So for Pam, and what's happening in District 21 itself to form groups of local supporters?
Can you say that again?
What's happening in District to form groups of local supporters?
Well,
I guess that was sort of your presentation.
Yeah, I think what we're doing is, we form chapters of Vecinos Unidos, and Camila described the process where organizers go into a community, they meet with folks, they set up house meetings, and within a community, which could be like Delano or it could be like Porterville, when there's and they hold these house meetings, which have people get to talk about what issues in their community are really burning for them, and then after we've talked to like 200 people in that community, we call what we call a general meeting. We bring everybody together, and then people, we do a presentation on what other communities have been able to accomplish by forming, by coming together and forming a group, and then people vote on whether or not they want to form a group, which, no surprise, they always do. And then we go through, we begin a process of identifying the issues, and then we come up with a plan of action on how to do those.
I can just add to that. So the chapters are a little different. We do have what we call guided democracy, because of course we want our chapters to work on education reform, to be civically engaged, holding their elected officials accountable, and to recruit youth for our new program. However, you have some differences. So our new chapter in California City, for example, is our first African American chapter. We don't have one Latino in that chapter yet, and they're very concerned about the education crisis in their school district. So all of the meetings are focused on that. Right now, we're training them. We're going into the LCAP season. That's the Local Control Accountability Plan. Jerry Brown passed the local control funding formula, where now this is a great tool that we have at our disposal to have parents and community members and youth go to the school districts, and the districts are mandated by state law to listen to their input when they are approving their district budgets. So this has been a godsend, a Jerry Brown sent for us. And in California City, for example, through the LCAT process, we just established an African American Parent Advisory Committee. So they're just getting that started. In other places, it's been, for example, Parlier, there's a lot of residents that were duped by a solar company who, many solar companies who went in, it was a predatory, lending practice where they, got these solar panels and against their home mortgages, they're now underwater with these, loans, and it's a crisis happening in Parlier. So those folks are more concerned about that. We're trying to help them, navigate through the PDC and other agencies to help them with their issues. And then in Lamont, when we first started organizing there years ago, it was in the House meeting where we heard about this water bill and the water bill and the water bill, and the organizers said, there's something going on with water. So we, to find out more, have them show you their bills, what is it? And so we came to find out that the residents of Lamont, their water rates had been tripled. These are farm workers who make less than $12,000 a year, and so we were able to help them in their campaign where they fired the manager of the water district. They got new board members on there and took that over. So it's really depends on what's happening in the community, and we help them navigate the strategies and create action plans together. But in general, all of the chapters will be working on the local control accountability plan this spring. We're preparing them for the census, so they're all kind of working on the same projects, but then also have different things that are specific to their community. And every month we have a general meeting where they all come together and work on their plans. There's presentations. Chibla and other immigration rights advocates have come and done Know Your Rights. We've had large immigration forums. We've had the sheriff come to, and where community members can then express their concerns, what's happening with the local sheriff, things like that. So every month, each of those chapters are hosting general meetings.
There is the answer. Thank you. I am so appreciative of everybody. Oh, you have one to add on something, Brian.
Not to the same question,
Okay.
but it just occurred to me when someone asked TJ, as a non-Latino, non-Spanish speaking person, how do you cope with that? I just want to share a narrative of my aunt. So in late October, for Halloween, there was a trunk or treat event in my city. So it was an event where different age groups would go around booths and getting candy. And during this event, my aunt, my tia, came out to help me pass out candy, but also flyers outside the event because it was not partisan. But TJ came over, and he was introducing himself to me and to my aunt. And my aunt doesn't speak English, so I had to translate between TJ and my aunt. And when TJ left, she was like, wow, it's the first time I met a congressional candidate. She can't vote, but she told me in that moment, for someone to make themselves that accessible, it shows a lot about the person. It shows about, the accessibility and the human side of TJ. And as the election results poured in, she checked me like, Brian, how's it going? And I was like, oh. She was like, how's it going? I was like, I'm all right. I was like, no, I'm not cheating about TJ.